Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Always fun to dive in.
Today we're going to be talking about achieving goals,
Oh, yeah.
and we're going to be doing it with the 1% rule.
Love it.
We're going deep into Tommy Baker's book.
Okay.
It's called The 1% Rule: How to Fall in Love with the Process and Achieve Your Wildest Dreams.
I like it.
So get ready, because we're about to find out
Yeah.
how tiny actions, consistent actions, can lead to big results.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah?
We always see these stories about overnight success.
Right.
Like everywhere, right? Social media, magazines. But the truth is,
Yeah.
it's not really like that.
Not really.
It's not so glamorous.
This is so true. And it
Yeah.
makes me think about that road trip analogy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you set off,
Oh.
you've got visions of like perfect weather, smooth sailing.
For sure.
But then what happens?
Reality hits.
Reality hits.
You get flat tires, detours, run-ins with squirrels.
Rogue squirrels. It's like achieving goals is like that road trip.
Tommy Baker uses that analogy.
He does.
He says our expectations versus reality,
Yeah,
they often clash.
they do.
Which is why we need the 1% rule.
Exactly.
This isn't about magic or overnight transformations.
Right.
It's about changing your focus
Okay.
from that destination to the
Yeah.
journey.
Okay, I like that.
So buckle up, embrace the mess, and enjoy the ride.
Speaking of motivation,
Okay.
I thought it was really interesting when Baker talks about this Harvard Business Review research.
Uh-huh.
They found that the biggest motivator
Yeah.
isn't fame, it isn't money.
Okay.
It's a sense of progress in work that's meaningful.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
What's cool is that even the tiniest wins,
Yeah.
they can actually trigger this motivation,
Oh, wow.
like a loop, you know?
That's powerful.
And Baker actually saw it in his own business,
Oh, really?
his fitness business.
Okay.
He shifted his focus to daily actions,
Okay.
consistent daily actions.
Yeah.
And the impact, it was huge.
That's so interesting, but I think we have to be honest here.
What's that?
We've all been there.
Been where?
We start a new project.
Okay.
We have a ton of energy. We're super enthusiastic.
For sure. For sure.
And then
Yeah.
life happens.
Oh, yeah.
A few weeks later, that spark is gone.
It fizzles.
Oh, it fizzles. I've been there so many times.
Yeah.
More than I can count, probably.
Baker calls that starting with a shaky foundation.
Oh, okay.
It's like building a skyscraper on sand.
You can't do that.
You can't, it won't hold up.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
So what do we do?
We have to build a solid foundation brick by brick.
Right.
And it comes from those small, consistent wins.
Right. And that's where the 1% rule code comes in.
Exactly.
These are the specific actionable steps
Uh-huh.
to help make the 1% rule actually work.
Exactly.
You mentioned a code. I'm interested.
Okay.
The first rule: fall in love with the process.
Okay.
Sounds nice, but I'm practical. How do we actually
Oh.
do that?
So John Acuff, he knows a lot about goals.
He does.
He found that the hardest day,
Yeah.
it isn't the first, it's the second.
The second day.
That's when motivation drops.
So you're saying it's not about waiting for inspiration.
Not really.
We just have to do it.
Pretty much, think about John Grisham.
The author?
Yep. He wrote 1 page a day,
One page.
every day, no matter what.
That's not a lot.
Nope. And he wrote over 45 books.
Wow. So what's our one page?
What's that one small action
Yeah.
that you can do every day to make progress?
Even when I don't feel like it.
Especially when you don't feel like it.
Okay, I like that.
Find the process, make it yours, and stick with it.
It doesn't have to be glamorous.
It really doesn't.
Okay, and that brings us to the next part.
What's that?
Do it every single day.
Okay.
I'll be honest,
Huh.
I'm not always disciplined.
Yeah.
When I hear every single day,
Yeah.
I kind of want to run away.
Yeah.
But Baker says discipline doesn't have to be a monster.
It doesn't.
Okay, good.
He actually compares it to riding a
The
unicycle.
unicycle, okay.
It's awkward. You'll fall a lot.
Yeah, you probably will.
But those are the moments, the
Yeah.
tough ones.
Yeah.
When you want to quit,
Uh-huh.
that's where the breakthroughs happen.
You're saying it's about finding joy in those little wins?
Even if you feel wobbly,
Okay, so I have to be a wobbly unicyclist.
you got it.
I love it.
Just got to keep practicing.
Okay, so let's be real.
Okay.
We need some encouragement along the way.
We do.
So that brings us to the next part of the code.
Which is,
Celebrate your commitment.
I like that.
Celebrate those wins.
Even if it's small.
It makes such a difference.
It does. Think of the NFL.
Okay.
A win is a win, no matter the score.
So true.
So find a way to celebrate.
Celebrate those steps.
Maybe coffee, journaling, tell a friend.
Whatever works.
Exactly.
You know, speaking of tracking progress,
Uh-huh.
the last piece of the code is about that.
What is it?
Track your metrics and your data. And I gotta say, this speaks to me,
Oh, yeah. I love data.
a data nerd.
I am.
It's important.
It is.
Tracking your progress keeps you focused
Right.
and helps you adapt.
So important.
You can use whatever works for you.
Like what?
A habit tracker, spreadsheet, even a notebook.
As long as you use it.
Exactly.
So we've got the code, fall in love with the process, do it every day,
Uh-huh.
celebrate those wins, track your progress.
Makes sense.
But wait, there's more.
There is.
Baker takes us further.
Oh.
He talks about mastering your craft.
Interesting.
And he does it through deliberate practice.
Okay.
He got that from the Talent Code.
Okay.
It's by Daniel Coyle.
I know that one.
So deliberate practice is all about pushing beyond your comfort zone,
Okay.
honing those skills you're already good at,
Makes sense.
pushing yourself to the edge,
Yeah.
and then going further.
I like it.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
Finding focus these days,
Oh, it's hard.
it is
There's so many distractions.
everywhere you turn.
Notifications, emails, TikTok dances.
So true.
It's overwhelming.
It is.
But Baker gets it.
He does.
He talks about deep work.
Okay.
It's from Cal Newport's book.
Okay.
And it's all about finding that focused time
Dedicated time.
with no distraction.
I like that.
And you know what?
What?
Baker used this to finish his book.
I did.
He did.
That's impressive.
Deep work sounds great in theory,
It does.
but in practice, how do you actually do it?
Baker's got 3 rules.
Rules, tell me more.
Create ruthless boundaries.
Ruthless? Wow. Okay.
Think about not checking email until 10 a.m.
That's tough.
But effective?
Probably what's next?
Double your rate of saying no.
Boundaries are key.
They are. Every yes is a no to something else.
That's true.
And the last one,
Yeah.
practice.
Practice deep work
Start small, maybe 20 minutes.
and build from there.
Exactly.
Consistency, I love it.
It's key.
So deep work, boundaries, saying no, this is good.
It is.
Are there any tools or resources for this?
There are. Baker mentions a few.
Okay.
Train.fm for focus music.
Okay.
And the Freedom app to block distractions.
Cool. Those sound helpful.
They are, but we'll talk more about those in part 3.
This is great, but what about those moments when we hit a wall?
What do you mean?
When self-doubt creeps in?
Oh, yeah.
When you just want to give up?
I've been there.
How do we push through that?
That's where persistence comes in.
Okay.
And Baker tells this amazing story.
Oh, no.
J.K. Rowling,
No way.
from struggling single mom
Oh,
to billionaire author,
that's incredible.
her journey shows the power of persistence.
It does.
And it reminds us,
Yeah.
persistence isn't something you're born with,
Oh,
it's a choice.
a choice. That's powerful.
It is.
But how do we cultivate that persistence?
When it gets tough.
Yeah, when motivation leaves.
Baker says there are 4 things.
Okay, what are they?
Having a clear vision, understanding the challenges you'll face,
Right.
detaching from your feelings.
What do you mean by that?
Execute, even when you don't feel like it.
Oh, wow.
And set ablaze your deepest desire.
So we use those negative feelings as fuel.
Exactly. Embrace the messy parts. Remember, growth isn't always linear.
This is all so insightful.
It
I feel like
lets-
we're just getting started.
We are.
There's so much more to uncover.
There is.
So stay tuned because in part 2,
Yeah.
we're going deeper into the practical applications of the 1% rule.
Sounds good.
We're going to explore reverse engineering your success,
Okay.
tackling those roadblocks,
Right.
and cultivating that unshakable endurance
Yeah, wait.
to help you reach your goals.
Awesome.
See you soon for part 2.
See you there.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So glad you're with us for part 2.
It's going to be a good one.
It is. We left off talking about persistence,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm curious, what happens when motivation just fades?
That's where endurance comes in.
Endurance, okay?
Motivation comes and goes.
It does.
Like the tide, you know.
Tap it down.
But endurance.
Yeah,
That's the strength that keeps you going.
when it gets tough.
Exactly. When the excitement wears off.
You know, this reminds me of when I was training for a half marathon.
Oh, yeah.
The first few weeks were great. I was hitting the miles,
Uh-huh.
but then it became a chore.
It happens, those long runs. Ugh.
Baker actually talks about that
He does.
in the book.
Yeah.
But his experience is more extreme.
Oh.
He did the Spartan Ultra Beast race.
What's that?
It's like 30 miles
Wow.
of crazy obstacles.
Talk about endurance.
Right.
What helped him through that?
He says it was focusing on the present,
Oh,
taking it one step at a time,
one step.
one bite at a time.
I like that.
So you don't get overwhelmed.
Right, by the whole thing.
You break it down.
Smaller chunks.
Exactly. And that's delayed gratification.
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
It is. We live in an instant world.
We do. Amazon Prime, Netflix.
It's easy to want results now.
So true.
But Baker says if we always go for those quick fixes,
Yeah.
we'll never achieve those bigger goals.
The long game.
Exactly.
Okay, so delayed gratification.
It's key.
But how do we change our mindset?
It starts with matching commitments to expectations.
Okay.
If you have big visions, but you're not willing to put in the work,
You're going to be disappointed.
it's like signing up for that advanced yoga class.
When you can't even touch your toes.
Exactly.
Be honest with yourself.
About what you'll actually do,
And commit.
even when it's not easy.
Or glamorous.
Right. He also talks about comparing journeys.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Social media makes it so easy
It does. You're comparing your chapter 1
to someone else's highlight reel.
You don't see the work they put in, all those hours. It's so easy to forget that.
So focus on your own lane.
Celebrate your progress.
And remember, everyone's journey is different.
Comparison really is the thief of joy.
It is. Now, to connect those daily actions to your vision,
That's hard.
Baker has a tool.
Okay.
He calls it the daily question.
I like it. What is it?
He asks,
Yeah.
what can you execute right now
It's okay.
that proves your outcome is not only possible, but it's coming true?
I love that. So it's about action.
Action, yes.
Even if it seems small.
Exactly. It's being intentional.
So instead of saying, I'll work on my business,
Yeah.
you ask, what's one task I can do in the next hour?
To show you're on track.
Okay, that's much more specific.
It is.
So we're turning aspirations into actions.
I love it.
Now, how do we prioritize those actions?
Baker has another concept.
Lay it on me.
He calls them big rocks.
Big rocks.
These are the key areas
The foundation.
of your vision, he suggests, for
Okay.
business and purpose,
Okay.
health and fitness,
All right.
spirituality, and relationships.
Those are big.
They are.
Yeah.
And for each big rock,
Yeah.
you define 3 things.
Okay, I'm right.
Your core outcome, that's the ultimate goal.
Right.
Your core process, the actions that get you there,
Yeah.
and your 1% process, the daily actions.
That make up the core process.
Exactly.
This makes those big goals feel smaller,
It does.
less intimidating.
And breaking it down.
I like it, but even with good intentions,
Mm-hmm.
roadblocks happen.
They do, like uninvited guests.
How do we deal with those?
Baker calls out those common excuses.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's too simple.
I've said that.
Or, I want bigger results,
Yes,
faster.
Guilty.
Or, they're crushing it. Why bother?
Oh, I've definitely thought that.
We all have. But Baker says
Yeah.
these are just fear disguised as logic.
Oh, wow.
Don't let those beliefs hold you back.
So it's like those doubts are trying to keep us safe.
They are, but we have to choose courage.
Courage over comfort.
I like that.
It's about taking action, even when it's scary.
Exactly. And remembering failure is just a stepping stone.
Okay, I'm ready to face those fears.
That's the spirit.
But sometimes,
Right.
we need a little push.
We do.
So what about urgency
Okay.
and accountability?
Those are important.
They are, but I'm a procrastinator.
I hear you.
How do we create that urgency?
Baker shares a quote
Yeah.
from Seneca.
No.
It's from On the Shortness of Life.
That sounds deep.
It reminds us that time is precious.
Don't waste it.
Right. And Baker also talks about
Yeah.
manufactured urgency.
Manufactured urgency.
Creating that internal pressure,
To take action.
even without deadlines.
So we're our own accountability partners.
In a way, yes.
How do we do that?
You could cut your target times in half.
So if I think it'll take 2 weeks,
Uh-huh.
I try to do it in 1.
Exactly. Or set daily targets.
Okay.
Celebrate those.
All right.
Or declare your goals publicly.
Raise the stakes.
I like it.
I do too, but speaking of accountability,
Yeah.
that's tough for me
I know. It's easy to let yourself off the hook.
when no one's watching.
Baker talks about a client
Oh, yeah.
who had a buddy group, but it wasn't real accountability.
It was missing?
Structure, commitment.
It has to be real.
It does.
So find those people.
Who will challenge you,
Push you.
hold you accountable?
I like it.
And there are 4 pillars.
For,
Effective accountability.
okay, tell me more.
4-tiered investment.
What's that?
You're putting skin in the game,
Okay.
investing physically, mentally, emotionally, financially.
Wow, okay.
Then surround yourself with people who challenge you.
Those who push you to be your best.
Yes, they call you out on your excuses.
And celebrate your wins.
Exactly. Then there's perspective.
Seeing things from a different angle.
A mentor can help with that.
Or a coach.
Even a friend.
It's valuable.
It is.
And of course, mentorship.
Coaching can be a game changer.
It can. That guidance is so helpful.
Baker says a good coach doesn't do the work for you.
Right.
They help you discover your greatness
I like that.
and take those leaps of faith.
This is great, but we can't be on all the time.
We can't. We need to recharge,
Step away.
get a fresh perspective.
And that's where Baker talks about
Aha.
strategic disconnects.
I like that term.
Me too. He debunks the myth of balance.
And highlights integration.
You know, I struggle with work-life balance.
A lot of people do.
No, it feels impossible.
Baker says it's not about boxes.
Not about separating everything.
It's about integrating.
So work, relationships, health, spirituality.
It all works together.
Not perfect balance, but harmony.
Exactly. And part of that is
Yeah.
those strategic disconnects.
Those intentional breaks.
To recharge.
So we come back strong.
Refreshed, focused.
We're not just talking about TV time, right?
Not necessarily. Baker suggests 3 levels.
Tell me more.
Daily, weekly, and quarterly.
Give me examples.
Daily could be playing guitar,
Okay.
meditating, a walk in nature
Simple things.
to de-stress,
Sometimes
unplug,
daily.
date nights, weekend trips, a long bath.
I love a good bath.
Those take more time.
What about quarterly?
Those are the big ones. Extended vacations, retreats, adventures.
That sounds amazing.
It is a chance to step away.
But what about those moments when we're overwhelmed, focus is gone?
Baker calls those
Right.
interrupts for instant recharge.
Ooh, I need those.
We all do. There are 4 types.
Okay, tell me everything.
Physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental.
So we shift our state.
Interrupt those negative patterns.
You're back on track.
Exactly.
Examples, please.
A physical interrupt could be 25 push-ups,
Okay.
a quick sprint, even deep breaths.
Sometimes I forget to breathe.
It happens.
Mhm.
Spiritual could be meditation,
Prayer.
anything that connects you to something bigger.
Okay, what about emotional?
Expressing gratitude, journaling, uplifting music.
And music always helps.
And mental interrupts.
Yeah.
Could be reading, a podcast, a creative project.
Anything to shift your focus?
Exactly.
This is great. So much practical advice.
It is.
But Baker reminds us growth isn't linear.
It's not. It's like the seasons.
Oh, I love it.
There's seasons for rest
For reflection.
and seasons for growth.
Expansion.
Exactly.
So embrace those different phases.
Don't get discouraged by setbacks.
This is so insightful.
It is, but there's still more.
There is.
Stay tuned for part 3.
Okay.
We'll talk about self-worth
All right.
and taking action,
And resources
plus some final thoughts.
to help you apply the 1% rule.
I can't wait.
See you soon for part 3.
See you there.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive into the 1% rule.
A good one.
It is. We've talked about the small actions, those roadblocks.
Embracing the process.
But now it gets deeper.
Deeper.
Baker connects it all to
Okay.
self-belief
Oh, wow.
and purpose.
Okay.
He says it's not just about the goals.
It's not.
It's about becoming the best version of you.
That's powerful.
It is, so it's personal growth.
Not just checking things off a list.
Exactly. It's shifting that mindset
From what?
from I can't to I am capable.
That's huge.
It is, Baker believes.
Yep.
When you embrace your worthiness, you attract opportunities.
That support your goals.
Wow. And it makes me think
About.
those times I've doubted myself.
Uh-huh.
It's like I sabotaged myself.
Without realizing it?
Exactly. And Baker actually talks about this. He does.
Right.
He felt lost,
Really?
even after achieving success.
Wow.
So he went to a mentor,
Ooh.
Dr. John DeMartini,
Okay.
and he gave him this exercise.
What was it?
He had to write down 100 reasons why he was worthy.
100.
100 reasons.
That's a lot.
It is. What was the impact?
Baker says it changed everything.
Oh, wow.
It forced him to confront those negative thoughts,
Yeah.
to see his own value.
We focus so much on our flaws. We do. It's easy to forget our strengths.
It is. And Baker says
Why?
that shift changes everything.
Like what?
Your confidence, your relationships.
Even your ability to take action. So it's not about being perfect.
It's not.
It's about acknowledging our potential.
To grow, to evolve.
And that brings us back.
Right. 2, the 1% rule.
Those small actions.
Leading to big change.
Stop waiting.
Start where you are.
Use what you have.
Trust the process.
I love that.
Baker also gives us tons of resources.
He does.
Books, podcasts, apps.
To help you.
Implement the 1% rule.
Okay.
He even talks about those interrupts.
The recharges.
Exactly. I love those.
So we've reached the end.
Of our deep dive.
What's the one thing listeners should take away?
Take action.
Take action.
What can you improve by 1% today?
Doesn't have to be big.
Remember?
Yeah.
Small hinges swing big doors.
That's a great thought.
It is.
Well, that wraps it up for the 1% rule.
It does?
I'm feeling inspired
Me
to
too.
take action.
It's a reminder.
Of what?
We have more control than we think.
That's so true.
Small changes, consistently.
Can transform your life.
They can.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been fun.
We hope you found it insightful.
And inspiring.
You have the power to create amazing results.
One step at a time.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing,
And keep diving deep.
see you soon.